The Kwando River is located in the Zambezi region in the far northeast of Namibia. Originating in Angola, it forms part of the four river system along with the Chobe, the Zambezi and Okavango rivers. The region is rich in biodiversity with several flagship species that depend on resources provided by the river.
The Zambezi region of Namibia has always been known as the water country in Namibia, because in contrast to most of the rest of the country, it has major rivers, and when those rivers come down in a big flood, then water can spread across most of the region, and a lot of the waterways actually then become connected. And when there are big floods, it also brings a lot of fish.
Fishermen continue to migrate to the Kwando River to exploit fish on a commercial scale following the decline of the Zambezi fishery and the drying out of Lake Lyambezi. The Kwando River is different from other rivers in the region, particularly the Zambezi and the Chobe rivers. It is a lower nutrient system, which means that the fish take longer to grow larger and to reproduce. This makes it vulnerable to overfishing, especially commercial fishing.
Yeah, so fish are part of a much bigger system here. Everything you see around you, it's one big dynamic system. This river floods, we have drought systems, and fish are all part of it. We have birds here which eat fish. The smaller things which you can't see, which the fish eat, also rely on the fish. Going all the way up to fish being linked with the bigger animals, like hippos.
The fish has been a really important part of the local economy. And without the fisheries, people lose both protein and also sources of cash. And so on the Zambezi and Chobe, with the fish resources becoming severely depleted, the Namibia Nature Foundation some years ago started working with local people, with the indunas, the kutas, that's the traditional authority, and then also with the conservancies. The conservancies which were set up under national legislation to manage wildlife.
Although rich in natural resources, the region remains one of the poorest in the country. It has the highest national HIV rate, and there are very few economic opportunities for local people.
You might find that if you catch more fish, they go and sell the fish, then sometimes maybe the time when people they were still paying for the school funds for the kids.
The Namibia Nature Foundation has put together a small project with a sustainable community partnership program funded by the Mobi family to do an investigation on the situation along the Kwando River. A questionnaire survey was carried out with local people to understand how people are using the river, what gear they are using for fishing, how many people are fishing, and if some form of management is needed. Interviews were also conducted with the traditional authority and conservancies with a general consensus that fish stocks along the river are declining. From the survey, it was identified that most fishermen along the Kwando River are seasonal and use traditional mukolos, which are canoes, and fishing methods. Few own nets or engine-powered boats. Many people living along the river are concerned about outsiders who have been seen in the area using drag nets and other illegal fishing methods which have negatively impacted fish stocks.
Some of the people here in the community, they used to bring foreigners to come fish here, to work for them to fish.
Our quota can wait on that road.
What happened in the past? What were the rules for fishing 50 or 100 years ago.
Aku katanzi ensui kazi yanduwa buroto. Kakuli kali kakwina eziseberiso z'ekikuwa tetuseberisa nsui. Katuseberisa bulozi zinazo kuruka bulo hamutaka hamunyazi ensui zotate zone bulo zikabiramu nera kukuya kukwana. Mi ensui zikazi yanduwa mulo nako kali katuyambira okuteetemaza kubulisa kazuliza okulya bulo mumazira tuleza. Kabuli aho kali kakwina competition y'okuyamba kyakutundi 1 million share.
We have the regulations in place of what type of fishing gear should be used, what is deemed as legal. They realized the decline in fish stocks. They started using these small mesh sizes to catch the smallest fish that have been left. And then drag netting also to maximize their catches. They use drag nets, and most of those drag nets, if you look at them, they are really of smaller mesh sizes which catch even the smallest fish. So illegal fishing, it's definitely there. This is a drag net made out of...
Drag net made of?
The mosquito nets.
Yeah, this is mosquito net.
This thing is big. I thought it was a small thing.
From engaging with communities, it is clear that action is needed to reduce fishing to sustainable levels along the Kwando River. Fish reserves, fish guards, fish ranching and monitoring were some of the suggestions brought forth by local communities to manage their resources.
The most important weapons that we could use: education, training to the game guards, awareness to our community.
Fish are important in terms of nutrition, trade and cultural value, and if managed well can provide an important social service to the entire community. The survey work that was conducted is essential when it comes to supporting local communities in managing their own fisheries. It has provided a good foundation to work towards strengthening livelihoods and protecting natural resources along the Kwando River.